Sign up now at elevate.miami.edu for my course, Organized Rhyme.
Looking at the word legacy, while involving some wordplay, I'll use the first syllable to build upon. We'll use the first syllable, leg. For the second syllable, we'll use an. And for the third syllable, we'll use the word knee. So now we have leg and knee. Can we use it in context with legacy? Let's just see.
Wordsworth Productions with a S.com for all merch. I got 2 books available right now. Words Are Worth Volume 1, and I also have a children's book called Socks. Age range from 12 to 15, so it's kind of like the middle school and high school age range, but adults can read it as well. What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of What Words Are Worth. And today I got a guest, I got a friend, I got a legend, I got an MC, I got a showman, I got an author, somebody that's been putting down hip hop for so many years and been able to do it at a high level always all these years. He goes by the name of Swel from the group The Arsonists. And today we're going to talk about his skill level of writing rhymes, writing books, everything that deals with writing and being creative. This guy can do it. So welcome to the stage. Swel, what's good, my brother?
What up, y'all? Words.
Yo, man.
Thank you for having me on here, bro. It's been a long
excited.
time coming.
I'm excited. I'm excited, man. I'm glad you're on here, man. You know, it's so many years, and this has been a great way for me to talk to my friends, man. Because you know what I'm saying? Like we see each other and we do the likes, we click on it, we scroll, but it's not like a full conversation, you know what I'm saying? Like that. So it's been dope just to catch up with brothers and then like talk about life. But for me, it's really just been dope because it also sends me back down history. I get to go listen to joints and stuff like that, and then like you know, and kind of delve into just life, man. So I appreciate you spending your time here, man, being on here with us. And man, I
appreciate it too, man. I love this. Like doing you. It's like I've been watching you do your thing since my teenage years, and it's like it never ends with you. And
Thanks,
your level
man.
just keep raising higher and higher, and it's like it's super inspiring, bro. Like
Thanks,
I
man.
love you. You know what I'm saying? Like you're one of the brothers that inspired all of us.
Thank you, man.
And I'm not even talking about arsonists. I'm talking about hip hop, just people in general. Seeing you working in the colleges, from touring to college, to books.
Thanks, man. Well, you know, the reason why I have this show is because all of those accolades that I achieved, it wouldn't be without you guys. Because you know, steel sharpens steel, and we very competitive growing up in New York and being at all these open mics and so on and so forth. So I want to celebrate you, celebrate what you've done and what you're doing. So I want to talk. Let's get right into the 25th anniversary of the Arsonists.
You jumping right in.
Album.
Jumping right in.
Yeah. Because you know we're gonna get into your rapping level and all that stuff. So we're gonna start it off with so people can go get this book. And man, you know, let me just say when I saw the book, man, just seeing the book in itself, man, it looks like so well put together, man. Like everything about it looks like of quality. When I'm looking at it, like I'm seeing it, it looks like that coffee table book you gotta have in your house. Like it needs to be there. When somebody come to your house, what's this? Oh, you got this. So tell us about the book and everything, man.
Well, let's take it back to before I even called you. I wanted the 25th anniversary to be something special. And I think it was last year or the year before, Detroit had put out a figure. I don't know if you can see it. It was an arsonist figure. And that blew my mind. And I was because I'm a collector.
Right.
All of us are collectors. I don't know if you noticed, like if you're seeing Q stuff, Detroit stuff. We
I
all collect.
I saw show your gems with you and all this.
Yeah. Like so we've been collecting since the early 90s. So something like the toy that Detroit had did was incredible to me. So I'm like, yo, when the 25th anniversary comes up, I want to do something real special. And I was in Detroit's house, and we was just chopping it up, going through a bunch of stuff, and your name came up, obviously for specific reasons, and we just looking at books, and I'm like, yo, this is not something that's far fetched to do. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, not at all.
And Detroit was very blunt about this. He said, just do it, get it done. And like he was so nonchalant about it. Like if you don't get it done, it's not gonna get done. Like he put the pressure on me. Like he put pressure on me. Like, yo,
Yeah,
get it done. So my first question is like, I've never been in the book world.
yeah,
Matter of fact, I'm still skipping. So we me, Destroy, Q, and Jice, we just like throwing ideas at each other, just throwing a bunch of ideas. And I'm like, man, I don't know nothing about the book world, man. I'm just gonna call words, the belly of the beast. I'm gonna call Wordsworth. And I haven't spoken to you since we did my podcast, like as far as conversation, when we did the
yeah.
wordplay podcast. Um, you didn't have to pick up that call.
Nah, man. You know I'm gonna pick up the call for y'all, man. I'm picking up the call for all. I pretty much am picking up the call for us, and when I mean us, that era. I
Right.
pretty much pick that era is us 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, train here, train there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna pick up for sure.
That was incredible to me because I'm like, yo, what kind of research can I do other than calling Wordsworth? I called you and you picked up, and I believe it was late too. If I'm not mistaken, it was like 1 in the morning
Yeah.
when I spoke to you. And I was like, yo, Words, I want to do a book. How do I do a book? And you said A, B, C. The next day, it was done.
Yeah. Yeah.
The very next day, it was done.
Mm.
And it took about an 8-month process, and a lot of back and forth with the publishers. There's a lot of ups and downs. But you know, it's finally made it happen, man. Just made it happen. And honestly, it was thanks to you because you kicked me out the door. You know what I'm saying? You was like, yo, here, do that. This
Thanks,
is it.
man.
This is
Nah,
it. So the props got to go to you.
nah. Well, I appreciate that, man. But like, we're the new teachers. We're the new historians. If people look around at anything now, like colleges have hip hop, workshops, everybody's trying to use this hip hop, but also as I believe, eventually there will be a section in the library of hip hop authors just based off of that. Hey, I'm looking for this. Oh, find them in the hip hop section. Find them in the hip hop section. So, like, I'm glad that this book can contribute to that history of authors and artists that will stand the test of time of what you've contributed, because that's the importance, man. Like, tell us what's in this book, what people should be excited about.
I would have never imagined that someone like me could become an author. And it was crazy because once I signed the contract, they literally sent me back the congratulations. You're an author now. And I just want to
Big,
let
man.
everybody know that it's not a literature book. It's not something that I speak about from the beginning of time of my life, or even the beginning of the Arsonist era and the ending, or what. I didn't do none of that. I said, even if you look at the book cover, I wanted everything to be completely simple. So I said, yo, forget all of the details, forget all of that. I'm not doing none of that. I'm going to take you through a journey of our history and all the stuff that we've done going. Now, remember when Arsonists started touring and doing all of that, our first single was The Session. I believe I was only like 16. I was 15, 16 years old when that came out, and we was
Yeah,
already doing tours. So I barely graduated high school if it wasn't for my teachers to be like, nah, you're gonna graduate.
yeah,
You're gonna do the tour, but you're gonna graduate. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna just show a fucking a bunch of photos of us growing up and all of that. And it took a lot, bro. I was spending the night at Destroy's house every night till the sun came up, going through all of this stuff. I was doing Zoom calls with Q because he lives in Cali.
Yeah.
Yo, what's the next move? Because I'm not in the industry no more. If you want
I
me
got
to be real, I've been out the industry.
right.
I don't rap no more. I don't put out records no more. I don't do none of that. So I'm like, yo, how do I get back into like the mainstream of followers or whatever you want to call it, and you know, pick this up. And Q was like, yo, bro, you have to do A, B, and C. You got to make it look like A, B, and C. And you know what I'm saying? He's giving me the stuff, and I was collecting photos. He gave me a bunch of photos. Candy gave me photos. Jice put it. Everybody put it in it, so it wasn't just me.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, I put it out. You know, I did all the work, but it wasn't just me, man. Everybody participated in this. Everybody put in, bro. Everybody put in, and D was like, "Yo, get it done." That's all it kept getting in my head. Like everybody does a lot of talking, but you know, they're not doing nothing.
Yeah, that's
That's what
starting.
that's what Destroy's point was. Like, yo, stop doing
Yeah.
this. Stop doing this.
For real.
Done.
Yeah, because you know, a lot of times it's hard. Well, it's hard to start and it's hard to finish. Like we'll start a lot of stuff. Like people in general, especially people that want to do books. I've come across that numerous times. Yo, I always thought about writing about, yo, I want to do a book, I want to do this, and I'll lay it out, and I'll be like, yo, it's really, you know, you really can do it if you really want to do it. It's kind of just putting that time into it, and you could do it, man. I applaud you for getting it done. It looks remarkable, man, and I love the way that you dropped the videos celebrating it for the pre-orders and all of that stuff like that, which we're gonna put all that information on here for sure.
Yeah,
I want to get into just like me meeting you and meeting y'all, and like also learning more about like the origin of like your name in itself. When did you pick your name? How'd you pick your name as a rapper?
So Swell came from like my grandfather. Everybody used to call him Swell, and it was like they spelt it a little different. It was, I don't remember the full details on it, but everybody was calling me Swell because I looked like him.
Nice.
And so by the time I was like starting the MC world, I was like, yo, I'm just gonna name myself Swell, but I was gonna put like, you know, whatever Swell would stand for. Like, I don't want to get into that part. It's embarrassing. But then I was thinking evil Swell and Swell this and Swell that. And I just was like, you know what? Since I was dancing, I put Boogie in it because I was like, used to like the popping and all that. So I put Swell Boogie. There it is. It was simple.
So that's one of the dope things that I remember, like my first time like seeing the Arsonists and seeing y'all is the showmanship. So that would be me seeing that, because I've seen people rapping all the time. I think y'all were the first group that I actually saw showmanship. Because remember, we're rapping, popping up open mics. We're rapping. Nobody's really like doing full sets because we got 10 minutes on the mic here. You might have a show here, but it's rapping. And then I saw y'all perform, and I saw like, I was like, wow, okay, they do all the elements. There's a lot of celebration of the elements, and there's a lot of integrity in the culture that I saw with y'all. So what made you as a group or as yourself want to make sure that integrity was instilled in what you were doing?
You know, just recently, I was talking to Mozzie, and he said something very powerful to me, and I think in my head, I was like, I think you're just saying this because you're my brother. Like Mozzie's like one of my best friends. You know what I'm saying? I've known Mozzie since I was a teenager.
Mozzie's a great person, man.
Yeah, and he said, "Yo, Swell, Arsonists have to be the best hip hop show, not even on hip hop, but ever." He said,
He ain't
the
playing.
best
He ain't
show
lying.
ever. And I'm like, yo, bro, chill. Chill. I can't take a compliment like that.
Yo, let me
And,
tell you, man, when I'm just rapping back then, you know what I'm saying? I'm rapping to be rapping and trying to be the best rapper, but like showmanship on top of the rapping and just showing that y'all were the first. I don't remember no other group that I saw have that much showmanship put on the show, to the point that people wanted to stay for that, like to see y'all put the whole show on as opposed to just seeing y'all rap, because everybody was rapping, you know what I mean? A lot of us rapping.
Once we hit the stage, like let's just say we doing the tour.
Yep.
Whoever we opening up for was like, yeah, y'all not opening up for us no more.
Yo, I understand.
You know, I won't name names, but it happens not once, not twice, but every time. They were like, nah.
I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it, because I know what the show was like. Because
we not opening up for y'all. People thought that after us, the show was done. They were leaving.
Yo, because the way the show y'all had it set up, it was so intricate and well put together that the showmanship, the way y'all collaborated, and it's in sync. It was so coordinated. It was coordinated, man.
I don't want to sound conceited or nothing like that. I'm trying to.
Nah, get ahead, man. That's why this is why I want you to do that.
Where actually this was like, this is not an opinion, man. This is like, yo, when we got on, just know we wasn't playing.
I know.
And you know what's crazy? We never even gave 100% in our shows. We was always fucking up, laughing on stage and falling. Like, I could tell you a billion embarrassing stories. We never even gave it 100% like seriousness. We still was fucking up. And the reason why we put all that stuff together, it honestly, it wasn't like, yo, we're gonna do this to stand out. We're gonna do this because this is what we love to do. We was already breaking. We was already like doing routines.
Yeah.
We was already, this was before all of that. We would go to Knickerbocker Park in Bushwick. And instead of just rhyming, we would do routines.
Right.
And we were like, yo, you gotta figure out what's the next sentence I'm gonna say, and you gotta say it. And then that's how we was doing it. Yeah, so it wasn't like really like, yo, we're gonna do this to stand out. But if you think about the Furious Five and that era, Cold Crush Brothers, they were all doing what we were doing. I mean, I'm sorry, we were doing what they were doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like we created this thing. We were just like, yo, why are we gonna put on a show for people to come and just see us rap? Which is basically what you're supposed to do. But we was like, let's give them a little more. Let's give them we're already doing this. You dance, you DJ. Let's just all do it. We just put it in. This is hip hop. This is what hip hop's supposed to be. So it wasn't like we was doing something different, new. We was doing what we were supposed to be doing. Hey, Dad, I passed my grade. Great, but that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
You're supposed to be passing your classes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. And hey, I can attest to a lot of that stuff. I was there, and like I said, I give y'all props on it because I was just rapping. You know what I'm saying? But I saw the elements, and I was like, yo, these
but
dudes
let me tell you how powerful
playing.
your rap. You know, you want to praise me, but check this out. We would do our set, right? We would blow shit up. We would wild out. But then when Wordsworth and Punchlines came on, we literally stood there like this. You had us focused. Y'all had us focused. And after y'all was done, we would look at each other like, yo, how can I write like that? Now, what am I gonna say now?
But that's what I was saying about earlier, like how just observing, I hadn't seen the dancing routine like that. I wasn't even thinking about performing like that heavy. I was just trying to come rhyme. So seeing that, knowing when I went to a show, I knew that it had the whole ensemble of what y'all was gonna do. So I want to also ask about like not only that y'all were doing like, you know, the whole performance, but like your writing style, right? So that's what's dope about the Arsonists. Each person is different, their own style. So I'm listening to your style, and you had a flow, and then you could like triple up syllables real quick, and then you come back, right? Like you hit like a barrage. Like you was able to. It's like you rapping, then boom, and then hit, and then come back and at peace. So like, what made you develop that style? Because you know that's the illest thing and the hardest thing sometimes is to find your style in a group because everybody's different. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you, man. If you want me to be completely honest, I felt and still feel this way. I was literally the weakest link in the Arsonists.
Hmm.
You can't imagine how hard it was to rhyme next to these brothers.
Oh,
To
I
rap
know.
next to Kinetic. Kinetic? Do you understand the things he was saying? The words Jice was using, the character D had, the aggressiveness Q had, freestyle with his incredible clear flow. Come on, man. How can I do this? I can't. And yo, if you listen to those albums, I swear to you, you will notice I am the weakest link in that
Nah,
whole
I would,
crew.
I would, I couldn't
Yo,
and wouldn't say
I
that. You know,
thank you, Words. I
this
love you. You my
Swell. This is what
brother.
I realized. Because you know what? I realized this. You
They
know,
were too incredible. I never was able to reach the bar that they were at.
but
Ever, ever.
this is what I realized, man. I realized that, like, all right, being younger and us coming up, like always wanting to be the best, be the best, be the best. I think when things started settling as far as being a dope artist and becoming ourselves, all of us, even now to this day, everybody realized that, well, maybe because we were so young, we didn't realize we didn't have a grasp on the world. But at some point, I think we all just realized, like, I am the best for the people that like me. Like, I started realizing that later because I rhymed with a lot of people too, but I always felt like I was the best. But eventually, you always feel like maybe not here and there, depending on who you're rapping around. But then eventually, at some point,
I could have
everybody
sworn
has
I
their
was the
own.
best up until we decided to actually put out records.
Okay.
You know what? If now if I want to be again completely honest, I
Mm.
would never take lyricism serious as the other fellas did. So
Ah,
I'll tell you like this.
all right.
I would not write to sharpen my sword.
Okay.
I would write unless we was gonna record a song.
Oh,
And I
okay.
would look at the other brothers while they were writing. What are you writing for? Like, are we gonna record a song? Nah, I'm just writing. Okay.
Mm.
I was so young. I remember I was the youngest one in the crew, so my personal development had never reached till way later. I was
Okay.
more concerned about having fun, going out, partying. I was sneaking into the clubs at that age. I was carrying records for DJs just to get into the back. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I never sat and took my lyricism serious the way
Okay.
these guys did.
Wow.
The
Okay.
guys in my group, they were writing to write. They were always sharpening their sword. Always, always. And I never did that. I would be like, yo, I'm not gonna write unless I know you got a concept. I'll write to that concept. You know what I'm saying? And it
Yeah.
got worse as the years went on. I've never sharpened my sword. And I think, that's another reason why I probably was one of the weakest links in the group because of that. Because these guys were just incredible to me. Just like I could step out the group and look into the Arsonists and be like, wow, I'm a fan. I'm a
Dope.
fan of that. Wow, that's my favorite songs on As the World Burns. I'm not on.
Mm. Okay.
And I
So
couldn't even picture myself on it because I was like, I can't do what they just did.
mm. Man, that's kind of wild, man. Because I've never heard that perspective. Because if I even felt like that perspective or heard that, I just started realizing, like, later on. That's later on when I started realizing, like, because I'm in a group too. I'm in the groups and groups, and
Yeah.
I just had the feeling, the vibes of, like, I've always heard everybody picks their favorites. So I'm so used to that ideology that I just was like, you can't be the best in every group. So that's what I realized, because you know how it is. You pop up at shows. Some people, you're my favorite to that person. You're my favorite to that person. So
Right.
hearing that perspective, I've never really thought about it much like that, because that's what happens a lot. You start seeing people kind of picking who they wanted. But so that's interesting, man. So
I
I
kept
want.
it just good enough to stay in the line. Like just to be in the mix. Like, yo, guys, I think I'm a little good enough to just stay right here. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I couldn't get here. I wouldn't say I'm all the way in the bottom, even though I said I'm the weakest link. So that's contradicting, but I just good enough just to be like, yo, thank you for keeping me here. Because I honestly, these
Yeah,
guys could
but
have did so much. They could have did way better without me. Like it was, if you want me to be
yeah,
real, it's like
man.
that.
Hey,
Anything.
if we don't have you, we probably don't get the book. So let's just stop.
That's
You
true.
know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Let's just be.
That y'all
Let's,
eventually somebody would have did it. I know
I
this
don't
was
know.
bubbling in Destroy's head, but yeah, thank you for
You
that.
know, everybody's that. That's what I'm saying. Everybody has their own little, like,
Right.
contribution
And
to
that's
it.
just to show. That's just to show the praise and love that I have for my brothers, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for
you know what I'm
sure,
saying? Like, man,
for
these
sure.
guys, being in a group with them, they, oh man, it's tough. Well,
Nah,
it's not easy, bro. They're like,
no, I get
they'll
it, man.
slap you up, like, yo, pick it up. And every time I was slacked off, I was getting beat up. Like, yo, get the fuck up. So it wasn't easy, bro. These guys is tough.
No,
You need
yeah,
to wake Q,
you
Ron.
know, I know everybody separately. I rhymed with everybody. You know, me and Q got. I think me and Q may got like a couple joints together. So I already know. And when I spoke to Q, I said, "Well, I already knew what I'm coming with. I mean, I already knew what you're coming with. So I already know I got to come with something. So I'm already knowing what I'm getting myself involved with when
So
I rhyme
imagine
with
that
y'all.
every
So,
single time. I was
yeah.
like, yo, I gotta deal with this every single
Oh
time.
man,
And these guys was not playing. They showed no
nah,
mercy
they
on me,
don't.
bro.
They
They
don't.
showed no
Oh
mercy.
man. So, when it came to writing, right, writing songs, what did you prefer? Did you prefer did you prefer you needed the hook first, or did you write the verse first? What was your preference to get going?
I think we always did the verses first. I don't think we ever did the hook first. And I think it was us being in the same room writing together. Like we'll be in
Okay.
a small room, but I didn't want you to hear my lyrics till I was done. But I had to look at you. You had to look at me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I
And I
remember
think
that.
after we did, because it's a group, I think we had to get the hardest part out the way. I think is the lyrics was like it was tough. So we had to get that out. And I think um the choruses always came later. I can't remember anything.
Well, you know, the
This
session
I
joint.
think the session was probably the only one that we did first.
Okay, because the session joint was very catchy. I remember like staying up at night on that what was that, Wednesday night or Thursday for Bobito. Thursday, right? What is it? Wednesday, Thursday morning, late. And like hearing that and then like how catchy it was, that's how I was able to connect to who y'all were when I went to a show. Because I knew that song. That's the song that
Yeah.
when you performed it, I was like, oh, okay, that's them. You know what I'm saying? So that was super catchy right there. I know that for a fact because that
Let
was
me
a
clear,
good,
let me clear
great
the rumor.
introduction.
Let me clear the rumor about the session.
Yes.
Everybody says that I always say that I hate the song. I didn't hate the song. What happened was, mind you, at this time we didn't have no records out, right? This is just. And, oh, by the way, I was only like 13 or 14 when we did the session, and it didn't come out till I was 15, 16. So by the way, that's why if you listen to the original, I sound
Yeah.
like a chipmunk on there. I sound like a chipmunk.
Oh man.
But we from Bushwick, Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
And I'm in my head, I'm like, yo, I'm trying to come with these hard bars. I'm trying to come with the rah-rah. Like we got to come out with rah-rah.
Yeah.
So as we're vibing, we will always just put on beats and vibe, put on beats and vibe. No one knew what we were going to put out or whatever the case may be. And one day the session beat is on and we're just playing. We're not saying, yo, this is what's it going to be. This is, we're just playing. We're going to, yo, hey, yo, you ready for the session? We're having fun.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking nothing. I'm like, yo, all right, cool, we'll do this. And then tomorrow we'll do some hard shaboing shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like this is my
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not thinking anything of anything at this point. So when we recorded this session, I was like, yeah, it's cool. That's not something I'm hype on. They decided to put the session as a single, like our first record, our introduction to the world. And I was like, what? With all the hard shit we got, niggas in Bushwick gonna think we soft. Now we'll put it with Halloween. Halloween is like a concept song. It's like we gotta come with something hype and hard. Blaze. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
they weren't feeling me on that. And I'm like, nah. We can't put out this session. Thank God they didn't listen to me. Of course, they shouldn't have.
Yeah, yeah. That was the first
It was
joint I
a
heard.
great move. It was a great move because
It
that's
was.
what got everybody catching us. But at the moment, being that young, I just wanted to come out. I didn't want to introduce ourselves to the world. Hey, yo, you ready for the session? Hey, yo, no. Hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It was
and then
catchy, super catchy, super catchy.
it was super catchy. But at that moment, it's not what I wanted the world to be known,
Yeah,
us to be known for. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I wanted to
I
come
know.
out guns blazing, Andy up. You know what I'm saying? Something like crazy
Right.
like that. And it just didn't go that way. So people think that I hate the song. I don't hate the song. I just hate that we we came into the world with that. And I was like, we got to redeem ourselves. And then we put out Blaze, and then we put out Seed, and we put out Venom, and like those are the songs that I had wished I was on. I was on Blaze, but you know those songs, Venom and Seed, those are my favorite songs of all time to me. And that's what I want. That's what I wanted the world to hear. That's what I
So,
want.
so when you're crafting, like especially like working on books and things of that nature, now we got technology going on, but we also still have a lot of people that have their passion for the craft and traditionalists. What are you doing now when it's time to craft? Are you still pen and paper, or you?
Well, I stopped rapping years ago. I stopped writing
Right.
years ago, and then there's another platform called Straight 16, and they told me to do a submission. And I'm like, yo, bro, how to rap? And I'm not
Right.
out here trying to say, hey, my name is Swel.
Right.
I wasn't like, I was like, I don't know what y'all
Yeah.
rappers are doing now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I finally picked up the pen to do it, and I did a submission. Was it dope? Not really, but it was cool to get back in. And I think that I tried to do it on the computer or the phone and type it, but I think I preferred the pen and paper. I was like, nah, this is. Let me pull out and I started writing. I wanted to
Right.
scratch lyrics out. I wanted to like erase stuff, add stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same when you type in lyrics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of people had to get used to that.
yeah, I think if I was to still be emceeing, which please let the world know I don't. I don't know how anymore. I don't even know how people do it anymore. I would prefer paper and pen because I feel like that's where you get the feeling of it. Something physical in your hand, and you like, yo, if you doing a long verse, you're gonna feel your arm like, you can feel that pressure on that pen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially if you're doing a hard verse, like you mad about something and you feeling it. You know what I'm saying? You writing.
Yeah.
I'll prefer the paper and pen if I was still an MC.
Yeah. And then I'm really just trying to get that. The reason why I'm asking you these questions is because people want to know your craft or just like your techniques of what it is. Cause we all write differently. So it's so wild, man. Like just talking to everybody doing this show, like the way we've rhymed together. And I'm like, I never knew how people came up with their rhymes. I never, like you get the verse on the song, email it, and then you be like, yo, that's hot. Thank you, man. I'll catch you later. That's it. I don't know what you went through. I don't know all of that. So I think it's interesting for people to just kind of like, because you hear some techniques that nobody never thought about it. So like, especially on this question with how long it takes to write the song, like or verse. How long was it for you when you were writing?
Usually it took me very long to write a
Yeah.
verse because I was always intimidated with the other brothers coming up with these crazy metaphors, and I was like, how can I come up with a line that is good enough to be in this verse? So that was really hard for me, that thinking process. If I was just writing a verse for myself that wasn't really going to go nowhere, I could do it in 10 minutes. But to write a verse where I needed it to use for something, it took
Yeah.
me forever because not only you got to think about, you're not only doing um punchlines, you're doing flows. What's going to be a catchy flow for this?
Yeah. That's why I brought that up earlier.
How do
Yeah.
you put I'm flowing with urge? You know what I'm saying? How do you put that in
Yeah.
there? So that was really complex to me, and to do it it took me forever. And then when I did it and laid it down, and the guys would be like, yo, Swell, wasn't it? You know how many times I got the Swell, that wasn't it. And I had to go back, and because it wasn't it, now I feel more intimidated. So it took me even longer to write, because like, if they didn't like that, how can I come up with something better than that? But there's been times when I'm super hyped, like I'm already like in a zone. I heard the
Right.
beat. Oh, nah. I don't care what they say. This is it. And those would be the ones that's it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it all depends on the vibe, the feeling, the concept. In general, it took me long. It took me long to
And
write a verse. It could take me a week to write one verse. It could probably take me 2 weeks to write a verse. There's been times where like, yo, you got that done? Nah, I haven't got it done. You got those mental blocks. You know what I'm saying? And there's no such thing as mental blocks. Just write. And then scratch out all the pieces. Just take out everything. You're molding it. You know what I'm saying? Learn on,
yeah.
and then you sitting back with other heads, and you're like, he's coming with this flow, he's coming with this energy, he's coming with this aggressiveness. I'm gonna take a piece. And since I was the youngest one, that's all I ever did. I took a piece from everybody. I really, that's the only reason why I came up with my own style, is because I didn't have one. I didn't have my own style.
But you know, that's typically what happens, right? Like even me, I can kind of tell you who I took a piece from and became who I am. Like, you know, like KRS-One with the clarity. That's very important to me. You know, Busta Rhymes with the flows, Nas with the storytelling, Cool G Rap with the storytelling. I can tell you all these guys, and then you
Absolutely.
can now you can go listen and hear that's what I do, what I'm into. But when you were doing this and like taking a piece of everybody, like what was your comfort zone? Like I know you said you would write and around everybody and be excited. When you were at home, was that your comfort zone or just being in the studio because you were writing so impromptu?
The best always came out when we were in the studio and
Okay.
when we were doing it together. There was some kind of chemistry there.
Right.
I never felt good about writing alone on my house. I would be more safe. I would leave my house to go to the studio and write, even if we wasn't recording. I could spend the whole day in the studio, not record one thing, but just be there. And sometimes I would be in the studio, not record or write anything, but it was something about being there. It was
Yeah.
something about, it felt like I was somebody. I felt
Mm.
like I was doing something with my life. And the only time I actually wrote the lyrics at home was when they were like, yo, Swell, that ain't it. And I had to go home and fix shit. But at the
Right.
end of the day, I used to love being in the studio and just being there. I would just sit there. There's been many times where I wouldn't even write and just watch the other guys writing in the studio and not even be on the song, but I was still there. I was like, yo, something just kept me there. Something.
Do you think it was the fact of knowing like you're gonna record and put a verse on the song and then other people will hear it and go, yo, that sound dope on that record, like getting that approval from other people that you were kind of like not craving, but kind of awaiting, like, man, when this come out and people hear me on this, it should spark some excitement amongst people. Cause I know as artists, we do make music that we want to release to people. Do you think that's what it was, especially being younger?
At the time of As the World Burns, no. That
Okay.
wasn't my thought process. That thought process didn't come until date of birth.
Okay.
Um, when we did As the World Burns, we recorded thousands of songs before we picked what we wanted to put on As the World Burns. So there was never a thought of, oh, I want people to hear this and like my verse, or that wasn't. At that point, it was just record. This is a banger. This sucks. This is dope. At that point, it was just recording. It wasn't. Personally, I didn't think of the world hearing it, and who would have thought we would have got signed and traveled the world. It was just like, yo, I want to be a rapper. I'm still in high school. I
Right.
haven't graduated. Like, I was thinking about girls. Like, yo, what rhyme is gonna get me all the flyest girls?
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't. There was no like stepping out the box. Like, yo, people are gonna hear this. it just, that dream wasn't there yet. The dream was to be a rapper, be rich and famous, but the dream, in all reality, it wasn't there yet. And it wasn't until date of birth where I had to actually grow up and stop making the excuse of me being a teenager. I had to come through, and that's when I was like, I really, the world is literally, this is being released worldwide. This is radio. This is magazines. So I had to come through, and I had to have that mental pride, that mental thought, you know, like, yo, this got to be done this way. And that was more complicated. But As the World Burns, it wasn't like that. It was just like, yo, we were just recording. We didn't care what was what.
Were y'all like challenging each other in the studio to like punch in the verse, or you got to get it straight through? Because being in, some people either or. With all of y'all there, did y'all like test each other in that range?
I don't think so. I personally was never able to do a straight through.
Okay.
But I've seen freestyle do a whole song in one take. And I'm not talking about a verse.
Yeah.
He had his, we would do solo songs too. Like we would be in the studio doing Arsonist songs, but I got an idea for myself, and we would record solo songs. And I remember watching freestyle do a whole song, 3 verses in one take. He'll do his verse, he'll stop rapping, let the chorus go like silently, and then start the verse and then stop. Meanwhile, we never press stop on the record.
Right.
One take. That was the most impressive shit I've ever seen in my life, because I've never seen that. Maybe
it's extremely hard to do.
Maybe a verse straight through.
Right.
But to do freestyle, would do full songs in one take, man.
Yeah, that's extremely hard.
Because you this is like a slur. Damn, I slurred at the end. Let me fix that. It's always something.
Yeah.
It's always something.
Personality.
Freestyle
personality for each line.
Huh?
I said the personality for a certain line. You got to make.
Yes. Nah. Say not
All of that.
Yeah, all of that. And freestyle would do verses in one take. That was the most impressive shit I've ever seen. One take, all the time. And to see him do a full song in one take was incredible to me. That was very hard. I was never able to do that. I have asthma. I'm like, nah, punch me in. I wasn't good with the one takes.
So tell me how important it is for you to make sure you're telling a story when you're writing these rhymes, your story, somebody else's perspective, and also how important it is to have the arsonist, the story in the book too. Like, because now you've grown from writing rhymes, your rhymes from when you're a teenager. Then you get better on the next album, and you realizing like, I got to be better at telling stories and writing my story. Because before I was kind of like, whatever. Now I'm like, oh, I know what I want to do. And now you pass that to the book. So now you got like 3 tiers of storytelling skill level. So yeah. How important is it with the book and everything? Like, learn how to tell a story now.
Learning how to tell a story, I really wasn't that good at it. But I remember we did one song, and I was a child on the song. I made myself a child. Yeah. And it was a really deep song. And that was the first time I was like, wow, I really stepped into character. I really wrote a verse saying, hey, Dad, why you walking on wobbly, looking sloppy? Never nice, always screaming and cursing at mommy. So to tell a story like that, should I write a verse telling a story about a drunk dad beating on his wife and his children? Or should I just be the child telling them my dad is beating on the wife and children?
Right.
That was probably the deepest verse I've ever wrote. I don't know if anyone ever heard it. I don't know how popular it was, but to me, that was something that I wish I did more of. Because not only was I telling the story, but I became a character in that story. and that was like one of the dopest things I believe that I've ever done when it came to that seriousness. As far as storytelling, like if you listen to like Live to Tell, these guys are telling a story, and when I listen back to it, I'm like, man, how do they do that? How do they put that? How do they put put a scary story like that into place like that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That was always impressive to me. So storytelling is very important. And like I said, this is not a literature book. I never put, you know, the history of stuff like that.
Right,
I
right.
threw in a, a few emotional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
There's a journey in the book. There's a journey.
it's a journey in the book, but it's all over the place. It's all over the place. So what I did was I try to make it like from young to now,
Yeah.
but it's like trying to put everything into perspective. I just wanted punchlines, not stories. Punchline for a story. Like you're gonna turn a
Nice.
page, there'll be some page with no stories, and then boom, this happened that day.
Nice.
That's how I did it. This happened on this day. From what I can remember, this happened on that day. We had so much fun. This was hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I did that.
So I know you was talking about like you spend nights over at Destroy Spot and like putting it together. What's your atmosphere for creating the book, or you know, creating in general? Is it like a daytime, nighttime thing? You know, dim. What made you get in that zone? How'd you get in that zone?
That's a good question because I never caught myself doing the book during the day. Something kept me from doing the book during the day. And I couldn't tell you what it was. Like if I had a whole day that I was free, I would not touch the book. I would not look at it, would not look at it. I would not like, unless I had to speak to the publishers. That was the only time I did that. But when it actually came down to what's going in the book, how it's going in the book, the order, all of that was always in the night. And soon as it became night, I would be working on it until I saw the light come up. There's been many nights that I was working on it till the light came up.
That's serenity, man. That's serenity.
I never even told the guys in the group like how I did that. But it was just long nights because it was just like stupid little details that I had to fix. And then going back and forth with the publishers, nah, it's got to look like this. It's got to look like that. And then instead of a 20% update, they'll give me like a 1% update. So I'm like, all right, we got to go back. And it was just so much of that. And to me, I couldn't do it in the day, man. It was always in the night. It was always when it was alone, quiet. My thoughts is all together. All right, boom, 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 boom. That's when everything was happening. I couldn't catch myself doing it in the day. I didn't feel a vibe.
I was gonna have a question about like picking beats and doing that, but instead I want to kind of gear it towards the book. So how did you pick what should be in the book?
We all did that.
Okay.
That wasn't just me.
Right.
Destroy, Q, Jice, they were like, this has to go in. No, take this out. This can go in, but fix this.
Did y'all vote? Was it like a voting how y'all did it, or just kind of like
there was really no voting thing. I don't think we had any issues of like a voting thing. I think one of the issues we probably had was should we add magazines that we were in, and we didn't know about the law of adding that into books. So that was like a don't worry, we're good. Nah, we're not good. That was probably the biggest collision we had about that. So
like using like articles from old magazines, and
I didn't know the law on that. You know what I'm saying?
The copyrights of all of that.
If the source saw an article that I put in the book that they did, I didn't know what the consequences of that would be.
Yeah.
So that was probably the only thing that was questionable. Everything else was like, yo, Swel, get this in here, boom. There've been times when I'm already like more than halfway done with the book, and then Destroy sends me something, yo, add this in. Yo, add this in. You know what I'm saying? Oh, just came up with an idea. Add this in. So it wasn't just me.
So what?
Yeah,
So
Jice had a lot of that.
but then y'all pretty
much
much had to kind of just like, yo, I think this should be in there, and everybody kind of came to that agreement. And then when you're getting the book done, I heard you mentioning like taking things here and there, the revision process of it all, right? Because you get your author's copy, right? You get that first copy of it, and then you know kind of get that. What was it like as far as picking gloss versus matte? You know what I'm saying? Matte cover. You know, there's a lot of little technicalities, pages, and yo, there's too many pages. Yo, we need to trim it down, like chapters. What was the revision like at the
that was the only thing I went through. That was the only thing that I went through by myself. That process, because that was a grueling process. And,
I know what you're saying. Go ahead.
For the record, I did a ebook, soft and hard cover. So
nice.
I'm doing 3, and there's no pre-order for that yet. But I wanted something for people to have physically in their hands, and I was in my head, I was like, it has to be hardcover. It has to be hardcover. I want it to be strong. I just kept thinking of strength. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, I don't want the pages to look plain. Like I went through that was the process of going through by myself, which was really hard. But at the end of the day, it pushed through, you know. And could it have been done better? Yeah, there was a deadline, so it came out the way it came out.
Yeah,
I think that Detroit would say that if we didn't release it on the 25th anniversary, a lot more could have done, and I would have to agree. But the 25th anniversary to me is big. You know, 25 years. So I'm like, I was like, I didn't want to take the chance of 1 year turning into 2 years, 2 years turning into 5 years.
Yeah.
And then who knows where we at in 10 years, and then the book finally comes out. I didn't want that. I was like, nah, this is a vision that I need to get out. I'm gonna do it now, and I'm gonna make it happen.
What I love about it though, right? The whole process of hearing you put the book together, and getting it done with the group. The biggest thing that I get from it and loving it is the trust. The trust factor that it took, because you know it's years, y'all been together for years, and they trusted you to do this. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways I would say of doing stuff, working with people. If you're in a group and you're working with your friends and so on and so forth, because we got a lot of people that's perfectionists, but you know, perfection can be an opinion, y'all. Like that's just what it is. Like you're gonna say something that's perfect, and it's still to never be perfect. Like sometimes perfection is just an opinion. And hearing the story, I really admire the fact that everybody chipped in, and then you know, you being the lead point of it, and they're like, yo, you say, yo, this is it, this is what I got, and everybody's like, cool, you know, like spearheading the whole thing and that trust. And so that's what I love from hearing the story, is that aspect, because so many people get deterred from that. They get this, you know, yo, we trying to work on something together, and then yo, he bugging, she bugging, you know what I'm saying? Like
that's always gonna be there. First of all, that'll never end. That like yo, he bugging out, that's never gonna end. But at the end of the day, you know, we push through. And I think the guys had a lot of grace on me because
that's
honestly,
a good word.
If you think about it, I'm the only one in the group who's never done anything outside of Arsonists to put out with Arsonists. I never put out a solo album. I never used the logo. I never did anything. And once I put the pen down, I stepped out of hip hop totally. I wasn't even listening to hip hop for many years. Once I put that pen down and everything ended and the lights went out, I was completely done with hip hop. So when everybody kept moving forward, putting out albums, and you know, members put out shirts and members put out toys, and members they you know, it kept going. And I never did anything. And I believe that the reason why they gave me this grace is because this will be my solo album. This book is my solo album. This is my
Whoa, that's
project.
kind of
Like,
ill.
Swel, here. They gave me the grace and was like, here, this is yours. So it wasn't like you that's the best way I could put it. They gave me grace
Yeah,
on it.
that's an incredible way to put it though, Swell. Like that's a dope way to look at it and put, for me, with you doing it, like I don't know if it would ever came out. Like I really don't, because like, everybody's living life. That's how I look at everything. Like everybody's living life. So if something isn't accomplished, I have that understanding that you're living life, you're going through stuff. Everybody is. But I hear the journey of you being there, and like sometimes that reasoning of being there wasn't for the rhymes. Then it was probably for this moment. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, we're rapping. I've been rapping, but then now I'm in this education teacher thing and all this stuff. I'm up here like, I was rapping all the time to become a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes absolutely. that beginning of the journey is really just.
Who would have thought I've been rapping to become an author? Like what?
Right. Right. That's what I'm saying, which is wild about it. You know what I'm saying? So I got a few more questions for you though. So like, as far as like staying creative, man, like what do you do? Like, cause you're still a creative vessel, to do the book, you got to be creative. So, when you get stagnant or stagnated by things, what's that move that you make to say, yo, I got to do this?
I think I would have to say that after a long time of ego and pride, you have to swallow that shit. And I think what gets me out of a block is picking up the phone and saying, yo, Words, how do I put out a book? Because I'm stuck. I think that's what it is. And I think that was the secret to everything. Picking up the phone, yo, Q, I don't know what to do right here. Why not swallow your pride and pick up the phone? Especially if you're not in the industry, you're not in the music industry, you don't do things here and there. Why not just pick up the phone and, yo, D, I see you doing all of this stuff. What can I do for this? I think that was the secret in all of this, is swallowing your pride, your ego, and picking up the phone. Yeah. Because God knows if this would have ever came out, if Wordsworth didn't pick up the call. Because from my understanding, you had to pay thousands of dollars to get a publisher, or pay thousands of dollars for this to sign a contract. And it was so much that I could have not called you and said, yo, this is too complicated. Let me step back and not do it. Let one of the other guys who are doing stuff do that. Let them do what they're supposed to be doing and what they've always been doing. But I didn't do that. I was like, you know what? I need to do this. And all I need to do is pick up the phone. That's all I need to do is pick up the phone and call. Your Words. How do I do this?
Yeah, that's the biggest question I've learned in education and in life, right? Is that the how, like the word how has so much impact and luggage and weight to it, because sometimes a lot of kids, just in general, they could live at home with parents forever but never get taught how to do that. Like they could be idolizing their parents, job, dad, whatever they do, mom, and want to learn that trait, and the parent never show them how. I have this story I always tell about one of my close friends. I went home and he was there. He was like, man, so I spoke about the how thing. He was like, yo, you right, man. Let me tell you, I went to my son basketball game. He says, I go to my son basketball game. My son playing. He ain't doing his thing. I'm screaming from the bleachers. So after the game, I scream on him like, yo, why you ain't do this? Why you ain't do that? And he said, his son said, because you never showed me how to do it. And right then he said he hugged his son. They started crying because he's telling his son this and that. He's playing ball, but he never brought his son out to the court with him. You know what I'm saying? And I take it in high regard, like, as far as like, I know what it's like to have to ask somebody something. And I know for me, I really won't ask unless I really need to ask. So I know it takes a certain amount of humbleness in an individual to ask for help, because we don't want help because we want to show we could do it, and then it take off. We're gonna show we do it, but like, that's why I pick up the phone for most, if any, of all of us, because if you, I look at it like this: if I get a call, then I mean it got to be something serious, or like it's something important. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I get it. Even for me, like if I got to call somebody for something, I need a favor for somebody to do a verse or something. They more than likely gonna be like, well, Words is calling me. This must be something important. Like, I hear beat miners, you know, Mr. Walt yesterday, just to hit him about something, and he responded back in a matter of seconds, you know, like, yo, Words is asking me about this, you know what I'm saying?
I'll hope and pray that I will have that that kind of power, credibility. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
To be able to hit anybody up that when I need them, and they'll be like, "Yo, it's Swel."
Yeah, that's how I look at you.
Like,
You call,
yo, Swel, what up?
yeah, for sure.
And that showed me that I kind of had a little importance in your life to pick up at 1 a.m. and answer some questions.
Let me tell you, Swell, you can call me anytime, man. Anytime, 4 or 5. Because I know if you calling me, it's for a reason. If it's on your mind, you call me at time, it's all good, man. I wanted to ask you about also, like, how about, do you keep up with the breaking in the Olympics? Because we from the culture. We from the culture. We know the elements. And I know that was part of y'all show, and y'all have a certain integrity with that element, you know, with dancing. So like, as far as not even the comedy aspect of what was going on, but just the celebration of it being there. Like, what was your take on it being there?
Well, not only did I watch the breaking in the Olympics, but I watched the Olympics.
Okay, yeah, me too.
I was glued. I was watching everything, and I was just impressed with all of that stuff. To be real with you, other than that, other than the comedy,
we know. Yeah,
I thought it was for hip hop to even be there.
Crazy.
You know?
Yo, crazy, right?
Now as far as how dope it was, in my own opinion, I thought I was gonna see more.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna see more.
More organized, right? Like, I guess organized in a way.
You know, not more organized, but I thought I was gonna see more in the B-boys and the B-girls.
Okay.
Like, when you look at the Red Bull.
I hosted a Red Bull one. I hosted one in Florida, so I already know where you're going with.
So you know.
Oh yeah.
I thought I was gonna see that level of b-boying.
Right.
And I honestly didn't. I'm not downplaying any of the b-boys. They were incredible, and the b-girls were incredible.
I know what you're saying though.
It just, for some reason, that it just didn't reach the level that I thought it would be for the Olympics.
Yes, I agree. Like, I'm thinking we're about to see the best of the best in this Olympics. Just
the best of the best. And I don't think I saw that.
I think I agree with you 100%. I think
when you watch those Red Bull,
the Rebels. I did one out here, and man, shout to the biggest and baddest clothing, and you know, RP Mex. I definitely, I've been to the Red Bull joint, and I know how that gets down. And you can see the Red Bull joints online, and just the integrity put into that. We know the level what's going on there. So that is definitely the expectation.
I'm just expecting b-boys to break and then just start floating, levitating out of space. Like, I honestly didn't see that. When I watched it, I was like, oh, that was dope. Oh, that was dope. Yeah, it was cool. It was I'm like, oh my God, like, dude, this is the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really get.
I kind of looked at it like, okay, we got this in there. We got a foot in the door. I kind of think over time you're gonna get the DJing in there.
Well, here's the thing. Well, here's the thing that makes me nervous is that's it. There is no breaking in the next Olympics.
Yeah, some people were saying that too. Some people were saying it might not be there.
It's not a rumor. It's out.
It's out.
First and last year that's going to be there. So yeah, awesome that we got the foot in, but now how will the DJing get it in when there's no more hip hop category? It's done.
Yeah,
there's no more hip hop category in it. It won't be in the next one. I don't know if it'll be in the one after that.
Yeah,
but there's no hip hop in the next one. So that kind of like
it would have been fire in LA because next one is LA. So we know there's a lot of b-boys out there that's crazy, like, you know, to get that full-fledged look for
it's over. They took it out. They took the category. Man. So
yeah,
it's kind of like scary when it could have been the DJ coming in next.
Yeah, it would have been crazy. Having turntablism and all that would have got crazy. Yeah.
But it's not happening. So that's the reality of it. It's not happening. So what the hip hop community has a lot of work to do still. That proves that we still have a lot of work to do. You know what I'm saying? So, hip hop needs to be in every Olympics, not just now. It needs to be in every. It could be emceeing too. It could be every category. It could be graffiti too. Who's going to do the best pieces in the specific amount of time? There's so much that the Olympics could do with hip hop. If racing, rock climbing, swimming is every Olympics.
Yeah.
Hip hop needs to be there. And we have a lot of work to do to get ourselves there.
All right. So 3 pieces of your work, or like the book. I want you to show the book to people, man. You got the book behind you. You got it.
I can't. It's here. I don't want to show anybody yet.
Oh, not inside the cover. Because just the cover. Yeah, just the cover. Yeah, because I definitely want them to see the cover and everything. So that way, yeah, there you go. Just the cover. Yeah.
This is so when we decided on this, because we have like 5 different Arsonist logos.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all standing in different positions and all that. So it was like, yo, we're gonna go with the original logo. We're gonna make it plain, all of that. And we even took out the Arsonist name that was here because that's how simple we want it. And Q's son Aaron actually remodeled it.
Dope.
And when that was happening, I felt like something was missing, and I wanted to add like a little stamp to it. So we have I don't know if you can see it right here, but I had one of the graffiti artists, SR. He put this together so it can have like a little stamp, right? You know how like you buy something in the store or like a book and it has like a stamp on it?
Yeah.
I have like a pretend stamp right here. And then I took what he did and I put color in it and made it here.
I love the quality of the book, man. I love the quality of it. It's so dope.
718 Unlimited did this. And then, you know, did a quick summary for people to look at. And simplicity, man. This is what I wanted. I wanted it to be super simple, man. Oh, there it is. Boom.
So that's I usually do 3 pieces of work you want people to check out. So what would you suggest as far as throughout your journey? Like, we got the book, we got it. Everybody got to check out the book. What about like maybe 2 songs or albums or something, or anything, not even music, some 3 things that you want people to check out that you know feel strongly about that's of interest?
Honestly, I don't care about nothing else. People checking out anything other than my brother's work. So Destroy has a show on Sirius Radio.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Control Alt.
Shout out to him. Congratulations to him getting that position for sure.
Check that out Monday through Friday. Q Unique puts out an album after album. Check it out.
Yo, Q is on it. Like I spoke to him. A new story video come out like every other day. New story video.
Yes. Freestyle has a freestyle beat, like puts out beats and stuff like that.
Gotta catch up with him.
Check it out. Jice has albums out, and he
Nice.
got different projects going on. Check it out. Kinetic has things going on. Check it out. Just go to their pages and check it out, man. Like, if there's one thing I learned, is supporting each other, man. I want you to check out Wordsworth, all the stuff that he has more than one book. How many? I think you're on 3 now, right?
I got a third one written, but it's not out yet though.
All right,
but
so
yeah.
he has 2 books now. Check it out. You know what I'm saying? If there's anything I want anybody to check out, and if you never heard As the World Burns, go back and listen to it. It's out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
go listen to those songs, man. If you've heard them already, check them out again. Like, relive that moment. That's it, man. Like, I love when people just support each other and check out all the new stuff that they have going on. If you want to know what he got going on, just go to his page. He got like 10 different things going on.
Well, Swel, I want to say thank you, man, for your time, opportunity to talk to you, catch up with you about everything, hearing your process and the things you went through to get a book out. I think it's going to encourage other people as well. Like saying that.
I didn't even say everything. So when we get off, I'll tell you the exclusive. But I didn't want to to the table, but me and you will have a separate conversation on that.
All right.
And I don't think I want the world to know that part, but me and you will vibe on that.
Yeah, man. But I appreciate you, man, being on the show. And they should stay tuned to your Instagram.
Absolutely.
Instagram.
So my Instagram is Swelicus, SWELACUS.
Yeah.
I'll keep everybody posted on there. And then _Arsonists. It'll be on, those 2 platforms will be on there. Maybe the guys will do it too, the rest of the fellas. But for now, it'll be Swel and Arsonists pushing this book. Those 2 pages, _Arsonist and Swelicus. There'll be more feedback, coming up in the future.
Yeah, so all the links everything he's referring to will be in the description. So make sure y'all click on the links down below and everything like that. Once again, Swel, thank you once again for being on the show. And it's been an honor for me because I've seen the beginning to see where you are now. And congratulations on becoming an author. And I can't wait to see where you take it to next from the author and even get into movies and scripts writing and everything like that. And, everybody out there, make sure you follow, Swel Instagram. And I ask you, what are your words worth? Peace, y'all.
Well, hold on. Before you say peace.
All right.
Thank you. That's it.
Okay. Thank you too, sir. Peace.